Mr. Coyle, you recommended the former President Clinton that he not deploy the ground-based missile defense system, the same system proposed for the Czech Republic and Poland. Why did you do so?
President Clinton had required that if we were going to build the system, that it be effective, that it would work. At that point, there had only been 3 flight intercept tests, and 2 of them had failed. So clearly the system was not dependable, and so I recommended that it not be deployed.
Mm-hmm. Has the situation changed somehow since then? Would you recommend the same thing to President Bush now?
The situation is different in that there have been more flight intercept attempts. Now there have been 13, whereas then there were only 3. But 6 of the 13 have failed. In fact, in 2 cases, the interceptor never got off the ground, never got out of the silo. So obviously it wasn't going to be effective.
Mm-hmm. And it's not often said, at least here in Czech Republic, that we and Poland are not the first country to have been asked by the United States to deploy their missile defense system. The same offer actually has already been rejected by Canada, who is among the closest American allies. Could you briefly describe the reasons which led Canada to making such a step?
Yes. First, Canadian citizens were skeptical that the missile defense system could be made to work, that it would really defend Canada, let alone the United States. But beyond that, they were concerned about starting an arms race, in particular an arms race in space. The Pentagon wants to build a missile defense system that can shoot down enemy missiles of short range, medium range, long range, and they want to be able to do this from land, from sea, from an airplane, and from space. And so part of the plan is to put satellites in space that would be able to come down, supposedly, and hit down an enemy missile. Canada did not want to be part of an arms race in space, and so that's the other reason that they decided not to participate.
Mm-hmm. When we're talking about the arms race, do you think the fears of Greenpeace and many others that an American missile defense in Central Europe would cause such an arms race, do you think these fears are justified?
Yes, and here's why. Russia has so many missiles that they can overwhelm the most futuristic missile defenses that anybody can imagine. But take China, take Iran. If they actually thought that U.S. missile defenses were effective, what would they do? They would build more and more missiles so that they had as many missiles as Russia has, so that they too could overwhelm our defenses. I don't think that leads to a more peaceful world.
And against what type of missiles do you think can the proposed missile defense system, in case it works, protect the Czech Republic or in Europe, potentially?
Currently, the system that's being proposed for Poland and for the Czech Republic has no demonstrated capability to defend Europe, let alone the United States, under realistic operational conditions. Realistic operational conditions means all-out war, and the system has not been shown to be effective under realistic conditions. So you couldn't depend on it to defend the Czech Republic or Europe.
So why do you think they propose a system that doesn't work?
They think it's better than nothing, but it actually could be worse than nothing because it could cause an arms race. It could cause nations that have animosity towards Europe to want to build more missiles, which just makes the world more dangerous.
Mm-hmm. And why do you think it was Czech Republic that was actually chosen as the most suitable location for the system?
Well, the Pentagon would say that that's because of its distance from Iran, the geography, and the flight path that a missile from Iran would take on its way to the United States.
Maybe one more question. There was a President George Bush who has said, I think those who oppose this ballistic missile system really don't understand the threats of the 21st century. What would be your answer to this?
The threats of the 21st century are car bombs, improvised explosive devices, rocket-propelled grenades, suicide bombers, the kinds of things we've seen in Iraq and Afghanistan. And U.S. Missile defenses are worthless against those threats.
Mm-hmm. And do you think the missile defense system actually would be ever effective? Or is it possible the system actually works in the future?
It's hard to say that anything is impossible. It's hard to have a scientist say that anything, no matter how far out, is absolutely impossible. But it's so difficult that scientists in the United States have said it's almost impossible. Mm-hmm. Hitting a missile that's going 17,000 miles an hour out in space is like trying to hit a hole-in-one in golf when the hole is going 17,000 miles an hour. And if the enemy uses decoys or countermeasures to fool the defense, then it's like trying to hit a hole-in-one in golf when the hole and the green are going 17,000 miles an hour, and the green is covered with black circles the same size as the hole. The defender doesn't know which to aim for. Mm-hmm. There's a slide in my presentation that talks about the 4 reasons that the United States wants to build this system. Mm-hmm. And the first reason that the Pentagon mentions for wanting to build this system is to defend the radars in Greenland and in the United Kingdom that currently exist. Yeah. So if the system that's proposed for Poland and the Czech Republic were not built, and if Iran was stupid enough to attack the United States, what they would attack first is they would attack those radar stations in Great Britain and in Greenland, because those are the eyes of the system. Those are how it can see. And so the first reason that this new system is being proposed for Poland and the Czech Republic is not to defend Europe, it's not to defend the Czech Republic, but it's to defend radar stations in Greenland and in Great Britain. Now, if the system is built in Poland and the Czech Republic, and Iran is crazy enough to attack Europe, the first thing they would attack would be the radar station in the Czech Republic, because that's now the forward-looking eyes of the system. So by building the system, the Czech Republic would actually make itself the target of Iranian missiles, whereas today there's no reason for it to be a target. I wanted to talk about why I think Greenpeace is so important. I work for a non-governmental organization in Washington, D.C. called the Center for Defense Information. It's a think tank like Greenpeace. And so I understand how difficult it is to get support from donations to keep the work going in an organization like Greenpeace. But the work that you're doing is very important. You're helping Czech citizens to see both sides of questions where otherwise they might only get one side from the government or from one, say, particular political party. From Greenpeace, Czech citizens can get both sides of the story, and then they can decide what they want to believe for themselves. But without Greenpeace, they would not have the same access to information that they get thanks to your work.
Thank you for this statement. Thank you. Thank you.